Hello, this is Frida. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show you a new stitch. As I did a yarn boxing, I bought this yarn from Hobium. It's called the Gazelle Unicorn, hand painted. It's 100% merino wool. Okay, all the information is here. I started knitting this like ASAP, and I can't put it away. So I'm almost finishing one hank of this yarn that I have started. Just have a little bit left here, so I'm going to start the second hank. And I started for myself, so I'm going to be knitting for myself. And while I was knitting, I bought yarn from Etsy, and then she sponsored for more for me to finish the cardigan. I will give her name. And I feel like this yarn is similar to that yarn. I did a tutorial on how to knit this cardigan with the stitches and so on. So if you can go into my videos and type in top down, you will see this. It is the same yarn, and I bought it from Abby. She's in East Coast. Let me see. Okay, her link. I will. I don't know if you're in Canada, you can go and buy it from her. It's the 3 Phantom Fiber Arts. That's what it's called. I tried to see if she has the same yarn, but unfortunately she doesn't. So the name of the yarn was called, here it is, Mineville Wool. Yeah, this was the name of the yarn, Mineville Wool. So project, let's click on that. So these are the yarns that she has handy, and look at the prices. I have never had anyone sponsor for me to finish a project, so I did buy a couple of yarns from her, and then I think we were messaging back and forth, and she said I will sponsor for the rest of the yarn. Okay, it's not that long. So this was the yarn. See? This was the yarn that I have knitted that cardigan. So when I am knitting, I'm sorry about that. Oops. So when I'm knitting this, I said, "Oh my God, it feels the same." And look at the price difference, like just to point out. Okay, so I am knitting this for myself. It's going to be top down, and I did a crew neck. This is a crew neck. It's not a V-neck. And I want to show you how to do the stitches, okay? I know it's really hard for you to see, so that's why I am going to be starting for myself a top with cotton. Can you see these stitches? I know it's really hard. So these 2 stitches I want to show you. And I get this question a lot. How many stitches do I have to cast on? How many blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't do it that way. What I do is I measure. That's all I do. So for the back, what I did is 7 inches. See? 7 inches, 17 centimeter. I did 7 inches. And I cast on so many stitches to make 7 inches. For the arm area, I did the same for the front. So I only work with measurements. Please do not ask me how many stitches I need to cast on. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Like, every yarn and everyone knits differently. So I would advise you to 7 stitches for a normal person, even if you're a plus size. 7 stitches is the best. Okay, and I believe I cast on 27 here for this yarn. It's like a 4-weight. So just to give you an idea. And I did do the short rows, as you can see. The back is higher. I would highly recommend you to do the short rows. And I do have several tutorials on how to knit top down. Crew neck, V-neck, anything that you can imagine. Okay, let's come to this yarn. I just want to say that this yarn is fantastic. for the price that I paid. And it's not peeling. That's another thing. Like I'm noticing it's not peeling while I'm knitting. So that's another thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you the stitch that I am going to be knitting. Okay, let me pull that for you. Okay, I saw this on Instagram and I saved it. I saved this way back in May 2019. Can you believe it? Finally, I'm having the chance to knit this stitch. So I'm going to be knitting this stitch. This is the same stitch as I'm knitting on the rainbow, but as you can see, because the color being variegated, you can't see the stitch. See? It's really hard, but with the lighter yarn, it is really clear. Okay, and it's so easy. Even for new beginners, you can knit this stitch. Okay, but I'm going to do this around. Okay, so you're going to be getting bonuses today. Bonus 1, you're going to learn how to cast on for yourself. Let's point it that way. Let me put this aside. Okay, this is the yarn that I bought from Iplik Outlet. Isn't this nice? Oh my goodness, I love it, love it, love it, love this color. So I weighed it. It's about 3 skeins for 600 grams something. So I'm going to be having enough yarn to start myself a top down. So what I'm going to do is I am going to be knitting the length that I need. If I have enough yarn, I'm going to go back and finish the sleeves. But I'm not going to do the full tutorial. I'm just going to show you how to knit this stitch. Oh, where's the end of this? Okay, let me just pull this. So I'm going to be casting on so many stitches, let's say. So I'm going to be showing you again how to do the measurements. Okay, and I'm going to do it on this one just to give you an idea. Like I said, this is a total of 7 inches, right? Another thing, on this one I did purl. For this one that I am going to start, I'm just going to knit one purl. Okay, and so this is, I believe it's 3-weight, DK. That's what it looks like, see? So it's not that thick. And I'm going to grab my 4mm knitting needle here. Let me see if I can find it. All of my knitting needles are occupied. Okay, I'm going to cast on and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's another way you can start casting on. So I have cast on. So what you can do is, this is pretty close, like it's pretty tight. Like I just wanted to not an open collar. So I'm going to measure it from here. And then what I'm going to do is, see, can you see how I'm doing it? This is another way you can start casting on. Just grab some markers. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, so here is my increase part right here. Okay, here. I'm going to give it a little bit more room because this is cotton, right? So I'm going to put my marker right here. Okay, here's another way you can if you don't want to use measuring tape, you can measure one of your tops and then you just continue casting on. And I do have several different techniques how to cast on, and this is the one that I've been doing. I don't know, I learned this from a Romanian lady. She was married to a Turkish guy, and she came to visit me and she showed me her daughter was wearing this wonderful Aran sweater. And I said, oh my goodness, isn't this lovely? And I had the same color. Even then when I was in Turkey, I was going to knit my son sweater. It was nice blue. I do have a picture on my Instagram with my sister-in-law. My son is wearing that sweater. Anyways, I said, this cast on is different. I never saw this before. And she said, yeah, it's our a way how do we cast on. So 1994, I believe it was that year. She showed me how to cast on. She only showed me once. As soon as they left, I started the sweater. And it was only 2 knit, 2 purl. That was all she did when she did the ribbing. So yeah, this is how I learned from her how to cast on. And I do have different cast on methods. Okay, so I'm just going to check the sleeve area. Okay, so this is the sleeve area. And I'm just looking at it. So I'm putting my marker here. See, it's perfect. But I want to cast on a little bit because this is cotton, right? This is like, this stretches a lot because it's wool. And it's super soft and it's super wash. But cotton will not stretch. See, cotton is not like that. If you look at this yarn, it's so super soft. But cotton is not like that. So I'm just going to cast on, I don't know, a couple of more stitches. Okay, just to give you an idea, it's so simple, nothing complicated. And this is all you do. How many did I already cast on? 4? Okay, I'm not going to have enough yarn here. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, see? I'm going to cast on a different method. Okay, let me just start all over. Yeah, because this is cotton yarn. And I don't know how much yarn I would need to cast on. So I'm going to show you a different method. You don't have to hold a long tail or nothing else. Okay. Should have thought about this at the beginning because this is cotton and I don't know. Okay. So what I'm going to do is how was I doing this? Yeah. What I'm going to do is I am going to cast on like I'm going to be knitting. Okay, and I do have this in my just like this. This is all I do. This is going to take me a while, but I'm not going to waste yarn, right? This yarn is precious to me because I only have 3 cakes of this yarn. I don't have any more, and Look Outlet doesn't have any more. That's all he had, and he sold it. So and I got it. So I bet on it, and I got it. So this is how I'm going to be casting on. Okay. So I will cast on, and like the way that I showed you, I am going to be measuring. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I just want to show you, I have cast on. So this is going to be the front. And I did give a little bit of room. And then here is the sleeve. Again, I gave a little bit of room. And here is the back. Again, I gave a little bit of room because it's being cotton. So for the sleeve and for the front, what I'm going to do is, because I want the front and the sleeve to be equal to these that I already did. So I'm just going to count how many stitches I have on the sleeve area and on the front. And I'm just going to add those and then separate the body parts before I start. And then I will come back to show you how to join in around. We're going to be knitting in around. We're not going to go flat back and forth. And I will start the stitch. Well, first I'm going to be knitting the rib, but I'll come to that. Okay, I cast on, so I measured carefully, and I'm just trying to be cautious not to twist this because I'm going to be joining. Okay. Okay, so I am going to join, and I did an extra stitch just in case. So I'm going to be joining. Oh, did it turn again? See, it did turn. Just be careful so the stitch won't turn around. So I'm going to join, and I do show this on my underarm as well when I'm joining the body parts, the underarm area. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a crisscross. So there won't be any, just like this. So I move this stitch towards here, and then this stitch on top of this, so there won't be any gaps. Okay, just like this. But I'm going to knit this stitch. To do that, I'm just going to grab. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, I need to do one knit, one purl, right? So I'm going to start doing my knit and purl, and that's all I'm going to do. So I showed you how to join, and I'm just going to continue knitting. Okay, and I will weave this end later, but I'm just going to leave it there so I will know that this is the join area. Okay, so I'm going to be knitting the rib about like this 2 fingers, so I think that's about 1.5 inches, I believe. Let me just, my measurement went all the way. Where's my other one? Yeah, I have 2. Okay, so see, it's just 1.5. So 1.5 inches. I am going to knit, one purl, and after that I will come and I will show you how to knit the stitch that I just showed you. Well, I'm going to be knitting this stitch, but as I said, it's really hard for you to see. See, this part and this part is like a lacy, and it's not see-through, so I want to knit this for myself. So okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how it looks like so far. So this is the front. My needle is kind of small, but you can get the idea. So these are the sleeve area, and this is the back. So it is open than the cardigan that I am knitting, and I did put it on, so it looks great. So I'm just going to continue knitting about 1.5 inch of the rib stitch, one knit, one purl. That's all I'm doing, and I haven't divided the body parts. So when I finish the 1.5 rib, I'm going to be starting to knit. But first I am going to do short rows to create the height on the back, and I do have tutorials for that, so you can go and check that out, because I don't want to go it over, because I already have the tutorial, and I will put the link below so you can refer to it. And then after that, when I finish the short row, we're going to be starting the lace stitch. Yeah, so I'll be right back. Okay, I've been knitting and this is how it looks like so far. Just wanted to show you, but I need to show you this on a sample, because this is going to be taking me forever, and I already did one of the lacy stitch, as you can see here, and these are my short rows. Just to remind you, when you're doing it around, you need to knit 2 rows instead of going back and forth, right? You knit the right side and then you knit the wrong side. But when you're knitting it around, that's the thing, you need to knit twice around so you can knit to create the stitch. Okay, and I did my short rows, and you can see this is going to be the back of the top, and this is going to be the front, so it's going to be like this. And I am doing my increases every other row because of the knitting it in around. Okay, so I'm just going to cast on a couple of stitches and show you how the stitch is done, because it's going to take me forever. Like right now it's 2 a.m. I didn't even look at the time. I've been knitting non-stop. Actually, it's 2:30 a.m. Yeah, everyone's sleeping. I don't know if you can hear snoring. Yeah, but it's turning out pretty good. I really like the yarn, and so perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna cast on a couple of stitches and show you how it's knit. And I will cast on this cotton yarn that I have here. Caron cake and show you how it's done. It's easier to show you the stitch. Like I said, when you're knitting it around, you need to knit 2 rows, and that takes time forever. Okay, so I'm just going to cast on a couple of rows and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have cast on a total of 20 stitches just to show you how to knit this Lacey stitch. And I have knit back and forth 3 times. So now I am going to start how to knit. So I'm going to be knitting 5 stitches. 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of 1 stitch, just like this. Oops, sorry, my cable got tangled. Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of another stitch. So I'm going to slide and put it back like this, so it's going to slant towards the other way. See, so I got rid of 2 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to knit again 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to get rid of again 2 stitches. So 1, knitting like this, so it is slanting towards right, and slide, and then knit 2 together. Okay, just like this. Then I'm going to knit. Well, if you cast on more, you will have more stitches, but I'm just showing you how to knit the stitch. So the wrong side is going to be purl. Okay, so purl yarn on the front, just like this, the wrong side. Okay, so I am where I knit the stitch. This is the stitch that we got rid of, 1, and then here's the other stitch that we got rid of. Oh, I missed it, I think. Okay, here's, lost my stitches. Let me grab them. Sorry about this. So this is the stitch that I got rid of, and this is the stitch. So from here, I'm going to pick up stitches. Okay, to do that, the first stitch I'm going to knit, just like when you're doing a buttonhole, and then the other stitch, to pick up the stitch, I am going to purlwise. So I picked up 2 stitches. And then I continue knitting until I go to the other one. Should be right there. So 3 more stitches, 2, then 3, and I repeat it again. Here in the middle, I make 1 stitch, is to knit, and then I pull the yarn on the front and I purl, and I make 2 stitches, and I just continue knitting just like this. Purl yarn on the front. Okay, so when you look at it, you will see the eyelets. See, aren't these cute? So I'm going to continue knitting 3 more rows. So knit, purl, wrong side, knit, purl, and I will come back and I will show you the other Lacey stitch. I think it's called eyelet. It's very easy, but it looks nice. I'll be right back. So I will knit 3 more rows, and I'll come back. Okay, so I knit back and forth like 6 times. So 3 times I knitted on the front and 3 times on the back. Okay, now we're going to, this is the first Lacey, and now we're going to purl yarn on the front, just like this. Just like this. And then on the wrong side, we're going to knit the wrong side. So we're giving that nice bumpy look. The reason I knit the pearl this way, because I don't like my stitches to twist it. When I do it the other way, it gets twisted for some reason, and I don't want that. Okay. This is the, then I just knit the wrong side, just regular knit, wrong way pearl yarn on the front. And then when I come back, we're going to do the lace, just like this. So I'm going to be knitting this on the top that I started. Same. To give a nice lacy look. Okay, so I knit the two sides just like this. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to, let me just knit the second stitch just to be, so the first stitch I'm going two stitches I'm going to knit together, yarn over, so I am getting rid of one stitch and making one stitch, getting rid of one stitch and making one stitch. And that's all I'm doing. Don't forget yarn over. I'm getting rid of one stitch and making one stitch, getting rid of one stitch, making one stitch. Again, if you're knitting a cardigan, you can knit like this, but if you're knitting a top around, the way that I did it, you need to okay, so here I got rid of one stitch, so I'm making one. I'm just going to knit the remaining. And if you're knitting in a round, you need to knit twice. So if you're knitting the purl stitch, you need to knit 2 rows to make the purl stitch. Okay, so I'm going to be knitting purl 2 rows and I will be right back. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Isn't this sophisticated? I just wanted to share it with you. I thought it was nice, especially if you're if you don't want see through like I do, and then you want lace between, but not too much showing, right? So what I did is I did purl here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be repeating this lace here. To do that, I'm going to be knitting 3 rows back and forth, so that's 3 on the front and 3 on the back, and then I make the eyelets like this again, and I just repeat it over and over just like this. See? Okay, I'm gonna knit 2 more and I will come back to show you. Okay, so I am back and I wanted to show you one more time how to make these. Looks nice on white too. Yeah, you can make baby blankets even with this stitch. Okay, so what I did is I knit, how many did I knit? 3, 4, 5. And what I did is I knit 2 together, and I did slip, slip, then knit, so that they both slant, one left, one right, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I repeat it again, knit 2 together. Oops, I'm so sorry, the cable keeps on grabbing the tripod. Okay, knit 2 together and slide, slide, and then grab it and knit 2 together. Okay, so on the wrong side, I pick up the 2 stitches again. Wanted to show you so you won't get lost. Or you can always, rewind and go back. It's very easy. I thought it would be great. So I knit. Okay, here is the 2 stitches we got rid. So I'm knitting like this, and then I'm putting this towards my front, and I'm grabbing it. So I'm grabbing another stitch in between. So I'm making 2. And then I just continue purling until I come to the next. Oops, lost a stitch. Okay, just grab it like this. Okay, where's my other stitch? Here it is. Okay, so I knit like this. I grab it and I pull this in front, and then I grab it from the front and I make another stitch. I just continue knitting purlwise. Yarn on the front. Yarn on the front, you knit purl. Yarn on the back, you just knit, stitch. Okay, so I hope you like this tutorial. I just wanted to share it with you how to make a lacy stitch. I did get a comment from someone, I can't remember, I'm sorry, I don't know, I forgot your name. She was asking if I can do lacy stitches. I do have several lacy stitches in my channel, so just go into my videos and write down lacy stitches, and they will come. So I'm going to continue knitting this, and always check my Instagram page. I post my finished items there, so you can have an idea. And again, it's easy to see it on a lighter project. I did the same here, but it's really hard for you to see. See, I have the eyelets here, and then I have here. So, but it's easy to see it on the clear one, as you can see. Thank you very much for watching my tutorials. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, and share it with your family and friends. And happy knitting. Take care, everybody. See you next time.